never seem to start these with music, and that's really getting annoying. There's the music!
So it was you guys, you were the ones who found my secret tunnel. It took me ages to dig that, even with my massive arms and polar bear friend. The day the body was found was the day I had planned to escape. I was in disguise. Then Rocky followed after me. But he was all covered in mud. I panicked and returned to my cell.
Well, shit.
Damn, if only you guys hadn't showed up. If only Knightley hadn't played.
I mean, he was in the cell you were trying to escape into, but, you know, other than that...
You say you dug the tunnel. What did you use to dig it?
Oh, just hammers.
Hammers?
And spoons, stuff like that.
Spoons I get, but hammers? You can give me an hour with a hammer and I'm not gonna make any respectable progress on what a sane person would refer to as a tunnel. Maybe a ditch, but not a tunnel.
I bought them from the supplier. Well, it was all for nothing.
No need to lose your temper. There's always next time. Isn't this illegal? The whole supply... Okay, whatever.
On the day of the incident, it's possible that Albert met Knightley while he was alive. I'll have to listen to his testimony carefully.
Okay. So you guys... Alright, let's press everything.
You know the drill.
The drilly drill.
Shut up! What's with that hold it, punk?
You say you've done...
What's it to you? You know how long it took me to dig that? I had to beg the supplier for those tools. Day after day I slaved away. Give me back my hard work. Give it back, you son of a...
I can't get one in Edgeworth.
You can't just go around discovering people's holes.
Just gonna let that linger.
He took me out. Mages.
So you dug that hole alone?
You're damn right I did.
Could a tunnel like that really be dug by one person?
Yeah, with enough time, obviously.
Wow, such a wasted effort.
A kid like you wouldn't understand. Never rely on others. Never let others see you. Those are the rules we live by in here.
Well, as a great thief, I kinda see where you're coming from. Okay, don't agree with him. Ah, no, I was just joking.
Well, I wasn't. Damn, why did it come to this?
The day the body was found, trying to escape using this guy. Where'd you get the uniform?
Did you obtain the guard's uniform from the supplier too?
Yeah, that's right. Seems he got it by threatening a guard. That guy went and stole it from someone's locker.
So when you went through the tunnel, you were already dressed like a guard?
I don't know how an assassin threatens a prison guard.
I'll kill you.
No you won't. You're arrested and in jail.
My dog will.
Well, then we'll just take the dog away.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
So when you went through the tunnel, you were already dressed like a guard?
No, to ensure the clothes wouldn't get stained with mud, I carried them with me. Once I got out of the hole and changed clothes, getting out of the cell door was simple. And that's when Rocky ran and jumped on me.
That must be the moment the security camera captured.
Alright, so the security camera is worthless for our defense. I still say for the period of time when we thought it was the dog, she really needed to address that, but she didn't.
Could you add that to your testimony?
Once I got out of the hole and changed clothes, getting out of the cell door was simple.
Getting out of the cell door was simple, you say?
Yeah. Compared to going through that tunnel, it was very simple.
You inhabit a prison, yet you seem to know the layout of the detention center quite well.
What's so wrong about that? Sure, I've been to the detention center too.
In that case, you should have known about it from the start. When Knightley was in his cell, the door had been locked, which means there was one piece of evidence Albert needed to escape.
There's evidence he needed.
Then Rocky followed after me.
What evidence did he need that was in Knightley's cell to escape? No idea. Not a clue.
When did you first realize he was following you?
When I got out of the tunnel, just when I thought I pulled it off. Damn.
Didn't you notice anything when you entered the tunnel?
He wasn't there at the time. I knew he would follow me if he was around. This is my chance, I thought. Just my luck. Damn it.
Such harsh words. Poor Rocky.
I can't help it. Today was his fault too. Just like yesterday, always clinging on to me.
Yeah, he's awesome that way.
He was all covered in mud. I panicked and returned to myself.
You didn't consider just making a run for it?
I would have if I could, but the mud would give me away, and it's not like I get another chance like this, so I had to proceed with caution.
In the end, he was exposed by his own bear. It's possible that Albert met Knightley before he died. I should listen to his testimony carefully and review the evidence.
Alright, so what's he saying? So with you guys, ages, the body was found dead, planned to escape, I was in disguise. Once I got out of the hole and changed clothes, getting out the cell door was simple. Is that the one regarding the locked doors? Yeah. I'm gonna try this, because it seems like it should be relevant.
Objection!
Yeah. There's a hitch in your giddy up there. Elbird.
You say it was simple getting through the cell doors?
Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with that, huh?
Even though you managed to arrive at Knightley's cell, opening the door wasn't so simple. How did you intend to unlock the cell door? J. Elbird, you had the key to Knightley's cell.
I ain't got nothing like that. That's it. It was open. It was already locked when I got there.
Indeed, the cell was vacant after Knightley's death, which is why, at the time we conducted our investigation, it was unlocked. Your successful escape attempt occurred after Knightley's death, so the door would have been open. However, you tried to escape once before then.
Plan was spoiled thanks to Rocky. The video shows it.
Yes, that was during the animal show, before Knightley's death was known. And then the cell door was locked, because no one knew he was dead. Without the key in the cell, your escape would have been impossible.
Gah, why are you talking like that?
My vent just... Yeah, my vent came on. I don't remember what that click noise was.
That means it can't be. It's exactly what you think. In the case of the stolen key, the culprit is... J. Elbird. You were the one who attacked God, weren't you?
What? Really? The guard and Knightley missed him?
And the guard and Knightley too, in order to steal the cell key.
It wasn't me. I don't know any Knightley.
After stealing the key, you return to your cell, a precautionary measure.
That guard has... And Knightley at least had his back turned, so it's viable, I guess, but... That guard has no peripheral vision.
And then you waited for a time when the prisoner...
Oh, he's also unconscious currently, isn't he?
And then you waited for a time when the prison would be most vacant. And that was just before Knightley's death became known. No, it's during the animal show. But in the end, the plan was foiled thanks to Rocky.
Don't screw with me if you don't have evidence. I'll still win by decision. Besides, it was that Knightley guy who attacked the guard, right?
I think not. I think not. Regarding the theft of the keys, Knightley was the victim. This proves Knightley was the victim who was attacked in his cell.
The blood? Maybe? White floor.
Take that!
All I could think of. Ah! Okay, good.
In Knightley's cell, there were traces of his blood, which had been wiped away. I believe this more than enough proof that Knightley was attacked in his cell. You attacked those two people and stole the key, didn't you?
Guard! Damn, I never thought you'd find the bloodstain I wiped with the newspaper. Probably shouldn't have confessed to that right away.
Why would you go through all the trouble of wiping the bloodstain?
on the hands of Knightley and the guard, there were obvious signs of a scuffle, you know. If the bloodstains weren't covered, they find it was another attacker. And if anyone looked around the map, the tunnel I dug would be discovered.
So you were trying to buy more time for your escape attempt, but I'm afraid to say your plan may still end in failure. Now then, hand over the keys to Knightley's cell.
Left hook. Damn it. Mouth guard. No, my bear! Everyone's abandoned me.
Bear came back.
No, I have got an amateur like you knock me out. Here, I got the keys right here. They were up my butt.
Okay, so now we have the keys. Yeah, what does that gain? Hold it. If you have that key, then that means...
That's right, Judge Courtney. You reasoned that Knightley stole the key and used it to leave his cell. From there, he entered the Mr. Key's cage and was moved to the workroom. However, the very foundation of that hypothesis has collapsed.
How? I always need to get into his voice. I see, in that case. There's only one person who could have moved Knightley. The criminal must have been someone who knew about the secret tunnel.
Hey, what are you suggesting?
J. Albert, you're under arrest, pal. You know what, I'm gonna let Edgeworth deal with it.
Wait, I didn't do nothing. Sure, I knocked out those two guys, then I stole the keys.
That is theft and assault. And battery. That's legal jargon. Assault, you don't actually touch the guy. Battery is when you physically touch somebody. Assault, you can do everything but touch him. Like, there's verbal assault. Assault is threatening. Battery, that's the beating him up.
And after that, I waited for the perfect time to enter that guy's cell.
You also tried to escape from prison?
But the cell was empty, there was no dead body there either. Also, how could I have gotten into the workroom? I can't even leave my own cell, right?
It's true, you only have the key to Knightley's cell, but there's also Dogan's dog.
What?
It'd be possible for the dog to carry the body from the cell to the workroom.
I see. So you're saying there was an accomplice?
The crime would have been possible if Albert and Dogan were working together. It's perfectly plausible.
I don't really see how Elbert's working with Dogan on this. Although, there's still a motive, like, why have him killed? For the cell to be empty, I guess? That's a stretch.
Somehow Albert manages to carry Knightley's body to his own cell.
And then the dog must have carried it to the workroom.
Yes, because all the animals can move freely in the prison. But that's not the case for the path between the detention center and the prison. Only one who could use that route was you, J. Albert.
What if there were another route you didn't know about?
Humph! There couldn't have been. The tunnel is a straight path, is it not?
Yeah, seems like it. I didn't have enough time to dig any more than I did. I only dug halfway up the corridor.
What? You mean you didn't dig the entire tunnel?
When I got to that cell, the tunnel was already there.
Huh, that was easy.
There was a tunnel linking my cell to the wall. Looking down the well from the courtyard, there's no mistaking it. They've always been connected. I just continued the tunnel with my digging.
Huh.
What was that hole doing there in the first place?
Who knows? Maybe another inmate dug it in an attempt to escape.
Or maybe the animals dug it. Maybe they wanted to drink from that well.
That's highly doubtful.
It's not like they could use the alligator pit.
There's no water in that well anymore. It's all dried up. Wait a minute. That's it. For some reason, that well gave off a nice scent.
A nice scent?
I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet like candy.
This scent? I believe we've come across it before.
Yeah, Knightley smelled nice, right? It has a sweet smell.
Take that!
Fell down the well.
Knightley's body was giving off a sweet candy-like scent. We used a police dog to track that scent, and that was to discover tunnel. By any chance, could this be the same scent as the well?
Prosecutor Edgeworth, I know what you're trying to say. That the scent proves the body was carried down through the tunnel.
Exactly! And J. Elbert, you're the only one who could have used that tunnel.
Thank you, Mr. Elbert. I am very grateful to you. At last the truth comes to light.
Okay. She's somehow gonna spin this to, like, still be Mr. Keys. And I'm not really seeing how, like, maybe Keys could have, because he was in the courtyard, gotten down the well. But that opens up a whole new host of holes, like how he got the body out at that point, and if he shoved the body in the well, how did it end up in the room? It's just...
Mr. Elbert, wouldn't it be wise to confess now? To being an accomplice, I mean.
Don't tell me even you suspect me too.
Well, an accomplice to Dogen, right?
Judge Courtney, it seems you and I have come to the same conclusion.
Not at all. You bitch. Our thoughts on this matter are still quite different. Mr. Elbert was certainly an accomplice, but an accomplice to Horace Knightley.
Okay. So the idea is that he and Horace were going to escape together?
What do you mean?
Mr. Elbert did not move the body. He simply lent the victim his keys.
What?
It would seem Mr. Elbert did indeed strike Knightley on the head. However, Mr. Knightley was not knocked out. The two must have made a little negotiation.
Negotiation?
For Mr. Knightley's escape plan to work, he would have needed the keys to his cell, so Mr. Elbert stole them from the guard. On the other hand, for Mr. Elbert to escape, he needed to get Mr. Knightley's cell. But if Knightley had seen him and yelled, the plan would have gone down the drain. And so, they negotiated.
I didn't negotiate nothing.
Yeah, stick to your guns on this one, champ.
You still intend to deny it?
I see. So, in other words, we're back to where we started.
Mr. Elbert opened the cell door, and Mr. Knightley entered Mr. Key's cage.
You bitch.
And then he was moved into the prison.
Woohoo, of course. And then he was killed in the prison workroom.
Weren't you listening? The scent on the body shows it must have been moved through the tunnel. Knightley was moved from the detention center through the tunnel.
Please wait until someone is finished before speaking. I do not claim that he wasn't moved through the tunnel.
What? Thank you, Edgeworth. You don't?
The scent shows the body was moved through the tunnel.
You're suggesting he went to the prison in the cage, back through the tunnel, then back again?
However, that does not mean it came from the detention center.
She's seriously suggesting that.
What do you mean? That sure sounds like a contradiction to me. Isn't there one more possibility? The well in the courtyard. It's possible the body was dropped down from there.
So your plan is they took Knightley through into the prison, up into the courtyard, dumped him in the well, then dragged him through that, dumped him in the detention center, and somehow the cause of death was a stabbing? And we don't know where that happened either.
The courtyard? Ah, the well in the courtyard. Mr. Keyes carried the cage not to the workroom, but to the courtyard. Mr. Knightley was killed in the courtyard, and his body was dropped down the well.
And there were no witnesses to this. Also, wouldn't it make more sense to feed him to the gator?
And then the body at the bottom of the well was moved by Mr. Dogen's dog. Now, there's one thing I'd like you all to remember.
You're a bitch.
Before the body was discovered, what was happening in the courtyard?
An animal show.
The animal show, right? Regina and Simon were there. Wait, Simon? Ah!
So wasn't he on stage?
I see you understand. Who then dropped the body down the well?
Not the guy on stage.
Judge Courtney, she's a tough opponent. Her flexible way of thinking enables her to adapt and come up with her own deductions, even though she's a moron.
Mr. Knightley was not carried to the workroom but to the courtyard, and Mr. Keyes was off stage for 15 minutes. This is when he dropped Mr. Knightley down the well. It's as simple as that.
Judge Courtney, your reasoning is sound, I'll admit that. But you're a bitch. Also, let's say the body was dropped down the well. That didn't have to be done during the show. It could have happened during a different time.
Unfortunately for you, Prosecutor Edgeworth, that is not possible.
What?
When the show started, Mr. Elbert was in the tunnel on his way to the cell block. Mr. Elbert, at that time, did you happen to see a body in the tunnel?
Nope, nothing like that.
So if the body had been dropped before the show, Mr. Elbert would have seen it. However, he has stated he did not see a body. So it's impossible to think the body was dropped before the show. And after the show, the body was discovered in the workroom. In other words, the body being dropped down the well and then moved to the workroom could only have been done during the show. And the only one who could have done it is Simon Keyes.
Have I mentioned you're a bitch?
Mr. Edgeworth, what should we do?
Find out next time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tokenlad. Talk to you later, True Negotiator. See you around Asklands.